Good afternoon, children. So we'll come to the third subject as a part of social science, that is economics. The first chapter is story of the village Palampur. It's a hypothetical village, and the purpose is to introduce you to certain terms of protection, mainly what are the factors. Now here it is an agriculture village. They have a well connected, what you call as, the village of Palampur is well connected with the neighboring villages. They have developed means of transport, the main transport being bullock cart, tongas. Then you have the cart drawn by the bullocks, etc. So that when I say well developed, not that you have flight and other things, that connects one village to another. They are also talking about the number of families that reside in Palampur, numbering to 450. And 1/3 of the population here are the Dalits. I am not telling you what is who is a Dalit. Already I have learned it in civics in that is class 8th. This village has been a model village for the other villages, so that's why they have chosen this village called Palampur. They are giving you an idea as to the factors of protection. What all you need, what are the essential criteria for protection. They are dividing it into 4, that is land, then you have forests and water. Of course, forest maintenance. The second one is labor. The third one is physical capital. Fourth one is fixed capital. Fixed capital, that is which you don't move, tools, machines, etc. Physical capital is where there are a variety of inputs used during every stage of protection. So what all comes under physical capital? Tools, machines, buildings, and they are called fixed capital because they are all you cannot move them. You do not move them. It is fixed for protection. Then comes the raw materials and money in hand. You call it as a working capital because you need capital to buy raw materials. The last one, the fourth one, is knowledge and enterprise. How much of knowledge the labor has and how much of skill is utilized for production. So any production, whether is characterized by 4 factors: land, labor. Under labor you have physical capital and the fixed capital. Then you have the human capital. So all these are known as the factors of production. So human capital is when human beings use their skill and knowledge. Then they are also talking about the different ways of cultivation or how the crops are cultivated. They mainly, it is attributed to crop rotation, growing more than one crop a year, and that has been possible because of the well developed what you call a system of irrigation. So this has brought in, because of a well developed system of irrigation, they have tube wells, and so where there is deficit rainfall, they use tube wells as a form of, that is for water supply, and that is called as tube wells, that is system of irrigation. So tube wells can irrigate much larger areas very effectively. Then they are talking about the green revolution, which has brought in tremendous improvement or changes in the field of agriculture. Earlier, Persian wheel was used for, ox were used for ploughing. Today they are using tractors. So there is a change as a result of green revolution. They are using, the farmers use pesticides, manures, fertilizers. All these are used for a better yield and for a better crop. Even in the field of rice, HYV seeds, that is to improve the quality of not only quantity but yield per hectare. So you call it as HYV seeds. Then again the question comes, will the land sustain? That is, continuous exploitation of land even through system of irrigation will make the land unsuitable and the soil will become very weak. Now, the more chemicals you use, the more fertilizers you use, the soil will lose its strength, which means the soil becomes too weak and it results in flood. It cannot hold more water. So this chapter, these are the main headings, very simple chapter, and of course they have compared two situations. One farmer, that is during the lean season. What do you mean by lean season? When there is no rain. So what, suppose one particular year there is a shortage of rain or there is no rain at all. So during such years, how do they manage? How do the farmers manage in rural areas? They are giving you so many examples where they do the other kinds of job like tailoring, going for construction of houses, having poultry farming. So which means not only during the lean season, even otherwise, after the harvest, then there is a big gap where they do not have any work. So what they do during such months, they work as construction workers. I told you they do stitching of clothes, go to cottage industries, they work in cottage industries. So many such jobs they undertake so as to meet the loss that occurs due to failure in the crops. See, crops can be a failure not only when there is a deficit in rainfall, but also when the rain is too heavy. It causes floods, it damages the crops, again it brings about epidemic diseases. Like this, there are so many consequences when there is rain beyond your requirement. And then they are giving so many examples about farmer 1, farmer 2, farmer 3 in tabular columns. And apart from dairy, as I told you, they involve themselves in dairy products, like they feed their buffaloes, goats and hens. Once they grow, after it gives birth to the young ones, then they are even sometimes used for, these animals are used for transporting, they are sold for meat. So that is another source of income for the farmers. Now I have sent you a nice PPT. Well, you can go to that PPT, I put it in the group. Go to the PPT, then learn the lesson. I mean, read the lesson thoroughly. You read the summary given at the back, and then go to that YouTube. You will be able to understand the lesson in a very clear way. It will be very clear to you. And Monday, and I think we have some assignment in this chapter. I'll tell you on Monday what we are going to do with regard to this chapter. But make it a point that go through the YouTube, the link what I have sent. It's a very nice PowerPoint presentation. Once you go through the PowerPoint presentation and then go through the lesson, it will be too easy for you, because the lesson is also very, very easy. One chapter of democratic politics, that is, what is democracy, why democracy, that will be taking on Monday. I think whatever I have to cover, I have covered in a very in a brief manner, because that's more than enough. Now your part is to read the lesson and go to the PowerPoint presentation, and then I will give you an assignment, what you have to do. So Saturday, Sunday, we are taking a break. Uh, do not relax or think that the lockdown period is coming to an end. It is still becoming tougher and tougher. So parents, uh, the number of days you are able to spend with your children, please monitor their work. And mobiles, I request you, if the WhatsApp, the group we have formed, it is your personal number. Even when your children are operating the mobile, please let them do only in your presence. Lockdown is not a period for us to spoil our eyes and zoom everything given in the WhatsApp. But since we are helpless, we are doing it. But that doesn't mean in the name of going to the YouTube and seeing just viewing what madam has taught. Please do not make use of it as an opportunity to spoil yourself and become an addict to mobile. So I hope you understand what I told. We'll see you on Monday. So bye till Monday.